What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you the budget spreadsheet that I use almost every single day. Been using it for about 2 years now, and it basically tells me how much money I save at the end of every month, and tells me during the month how much money I have on track of going over my budget. You don't want to go over your budget because you want to save money each month. So this is why I like this spreadsheet. I know there is some apps out there that does this for you, like based off your bank activity. I tried using those apps and sometimes they don't work too good. And I think it's also important for someone to know how much they're spending on in real time, and having them track it themselves so they can have a better idea of how to adjust. So anyways, I went ahead and added a month, date, description, category, income, which is money coming in, expenses, and then a balance column. So I'm gonna be working with this in real time, so bear with me. But for the date, the first entry you want to make is gonna be your starting balance. So since I'm doing this on October 16th of this year, I'm gonna be doing that date. And then my description, put starting balance. Starting balance. And then my category, leaving that blank for now. I'll explain why. Income is going to be your ending balance in your bank. So for this example, I'm going to put 3,000. Your balance is going to be equals your income. All right, so that looks good. So for your next item, it's going to be the first thing that you spend after you started this. So for instance, in my example, I'm going to use 10/17/2022, and I'll put gas. Leaving category blank again. It's not an income, it's actually expense, and it's going to be, I'm going to put, I don't know, $50. And now your formula is going to be equals this above plus any income coming in minus your expense. So now you can see 3,000 minus 50 is 2950. Cool. So next thing you want to do is make this into a table. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to go to the insert tab right here, go to table, and then make sure your table has headers selected. Press OK. My favorite color is blue, so I'm just going to leave that as it is, but if you want to change it, you can go to table design and change from these table styles right here. All right. Right here, you're going to make a formula. It's going to be equals text, and that's basically separate your month from this date that you just entered in, because whenever we're doing that, that's basically what our formulas are going to be looking at as the month. It doesn't really necessarily matter about the actual date as long as the month is correct. It's going to be equals text. Your date section, or your date cell, in quotations, MMM, and then in quotations. And as you can see, separated October out of here. And if I wanted to add November or something, that changes. So there's that. Go ahead and delete that. I've already started this. I kind of messed up earlier with my recording software, so I'm just going to copy and paste what I had in earlier, and then we can have a better example of that. But before I do that, we're going to make another tab right here, and then we're going to name this as list. So this is going to be all your categories that you need to put down. So like I said, I already started this earlier, so I'm gonna go over here, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this right here. Actually, I'm gonna copy and paste all of this because I need the month as well. So I'm just gonna paste it right there, and I left this category blank because we want to use a data validation to off these lists right here. So to do that, you're going to highlight all of column D, control click on D1 to remove the category section, and then you're going to go to data, and then you're going to click on this right here, which is your data validation, and then you're going to go to allow, and you want to choose a list. Your source value is going to be right here. So just go ahead, and I like to do extras just in case you have to add some more to your list. Like this is what I came up with, but you can make whatever you want. So I went ahead and did that. Press OK. And then now you have a drop down list to choose from. So for my starting balance, I'm going to choose income. For gas, I have a gas section, so I'm going to put gas. Now I'm just going to copy and paste everything that I've done previously and put it in here so we can have a better alright, so now I have more activity listed in. Basically I just got it from this example that I copy and pasted over, so I can go ahead and delete this. Don't need it anymore. So let's go ahead and make this look a little cleaner. So you want to highlight the income, the expenses, and then the balances. I like choosing the accounting format just because I like seeing all the number signs, and it just looks better to me, because whenever you start using actual money, you're gonna have cents and stuff, and it just looks cleaner in my opinion. So now let's add one together. So like I said, this doesn't have to be in order. So because we're using the month right here, this is going to be what we're using for a formula. So like say you forget to add something in order one day, or you're like doing it from your actual bank statement, your bank statement is going to show, or not your bank statement, your bank activity is going to show your most recent transactions to your latest. So say you're going down that list, it's not going to be in order. So let's go ahead and just add one together. Let's see, let's do Netflix. I might have already did this earlier, but Netflix, we're going to choose a subscription, and then say it's $15. All right, so as you can see, that's how it looks. Let's add another one, and I'm going to show you what it does whenever you add something that's not on your list. So let's do I don't know, renter's insurance or something. So say you have a monthly renter's insurance that you pay, or you can put, utilities or whatever. And you want to put in renter's insurance right here. I'm going to need an error sign because it's not on my list. So it's going to tell me to, double check what I just entered in. So right here, I want a backspace. And this is why I said to add more rows, just in case you had stuff to add. So I'm gonna put renter's insurance right here, and then I'm gonna go back over here, and I'm either gonna type it in and it works, or I can use this drop down and select it. Just put renter's insurance for $30. Anyways, that's how that looks. Another thing I do is I add notes. I add a note column, so I can say if I spend over a certain amount of money, I want to know why I spent over that certain amount of money. So right here, go to column F, control click on the expenses, de-highlight that, go to highlight cells greater than I don't know, for this example, let's do 400. So everything that's over $400 is highlighted red, which should be like a red flag to you. And then right here, your notes come in handy, so you can see you can leave a note to yourself like what this was. Obviously, this right here says PlayStation 5. You put purchase PlayStation 5 for myself, or whoever you bought the PlayStation 5 for, stuff like that. Obviously, your monthly recurring ones are always going to stand out to you. But like this one, Christmas purchase or Christmas shopping, holiday. holiday shopping. Something like that, just to give you a better example or a better reason as to why you went over your set limit that you just set. Another thing, this one I put as MISC income. Say, for example, this is around Christmas time, so let's put Christmas money. So this is like my stuff outside my my monthly paychecks. And once you're done with that, you can go ahead and make a new tab called budget versus actual. So this is gonna be how you pull in stuff from your data tab over to your budget versus actual tab to compare it to your the budgets that you make. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So right here, I'm gonna choose month. I'm gonna leave this blank for right now. Well, actually, I can go ahead and do it. So right here, you're gonna go to the data tab and make another data validation with the list function, and you're gonna go to your list tab and choose all these months and press OK. And then now I can choose whatever month I'm working on. For example, I'm going to choose in October. I want the year to be right here. And now underneath, you're going to start on your income, your actual, your budget, and then your remaining. Remaining for the income really doesn't matter. I use the remaining heavily for my expenses. Remaining basically tells you how much you have left to spend each month, or in the income's case, how much you have left to gain that month. So my income categories I choose as paycheck because I only have one job. If you have like multiple jobs, you can choose the name of your corporation or your not corporation. The name of your job, like for instance, say you work at a restaurant, put Texas Roadhouse, or work at Target or something, put Target. You can separate it by, jobs, but I only have one job, so I put paycheck. My other category is MISC, which is like anything outside my normal paycheck. So like for example earlier, I put Christmas money. So, that's outside my normal, and I'm not expecting that, so I just put MISC, so I don't have to do it for everything. Like for instance, like Christmas money, birthday money, whatever. It just all falls into the category MISC. Now we're gonna work on our expenses. Our expenses, I'm just gonna copy and paste from our list because it should all be the same. If you need to add something, like right here, you can add something. Just make sure you also add it to your list. So go ahead and do that. So now, right here, we're going to put total. And then put gain. Gain/loss. And then right here, I like to see how much was my total income, how much was my total expenses, and how much did I save. I just like to do this as like a little quick breakdown. I'm going to put total budget here as well. Total income, total expense, budget. Oops. And then total EST save. All right, cool. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys the formulas that I'm using. I use the sum if, was basically telling you or telling Excel to only sum if it meets a certain criteria. So we're using the sum ifs because I'm using two criteria, which is the month and then the category. So it's going to be sum ifs. Our sum range for the income is going to be in column E, and our criteria range is going to be, our criteria range number 1 is going to be column A, which is our month. Our criteria 1 is going to be right here in B1. Make sure you do an absolute value for that so it doesn't move. Our criteria range number 2 is going to be our category. So for income and our paycheck and MISC, I have it in column C. So I'm just going to use column C. And our criteria number 2 is going to be this one right here. You don't have to put an absolute value because we'll be copying this down. Press OK, and as you can see, it pulls over. I added $40 right here in October, just so I can make sure the formula was moving down correctly. You can sort this so the October can be up here. I'm not going to do that right now. Anyways, so I did that. Our budget is what we're expecting to get each month. So for our example, I'm using a salary paycheck of $2,300 bi-monthly. So times 2, if you're hourly, just do your best guess of what you think your paycheck's going to be. MISC, I'm never expecting anything to be MISC, so I'll just put that at 0. For our remaining, want to do budget minus the actual. For the income section, this really doesn't matter as much. The negative sign in the income section, in my opinion, is good because you actually got more money than you had budgeted for. For the expense section, you can kind of tell the opposite because you're actually spending more money than you had budgeted for. So let's work on our formula for the expense section. So it's going to be equals, again, sum ifs. Our sum range is going to be the expenses column this time. Our criteria range number 1 is going to be the column section, or column D. And our criteria 1 is going to be the actual category itself. Criteria range number 2 is going to be our month. Our criteria number 2 again is going to be B1, which is our month. So make sure you put absolute value on that one. And then that one is showing up as 0 simply because I did not input a rent for October, but I'm going to copy and paste this down. Now you can see the rest populated, but if I want to make sure October worked, I'm going to go 10, 1, and then put rent. And I think I was putting rent for $1,500. As you see, that all did that. Whenever you're typing stuff in the description, make sure like there's no spaces or anything, because sometimes I'll mess up your formula. Same thing for right here. So like say if there's a space in one of these or something, you'll mess up your formula. So make sure there's no space. But as you can see, the rent carried over now. So for the total, it's going to do equal sum, add all this up, and then same thing right there, equal sum, add all this up. Our budget and remaining, right there. So on the budget side, this is what you're coming up with. So if you know your monthly rent's $1,500, put $1,500. You know your car payment's $300, put $300. All this should stay the same. I don't know, say your phone bill varies sometimes, so put $110. Say you only want to spend $400 a month on personal MISC. You know, just go down the list and determine what best suits your lifestyle. And this is just an example, so obviously these numbers are going to be way off. But anyways, I'm going down the list. Alright, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do equals minus your budget, and then your actual, and it's going to tell you how much you have left over to spend. and then copy and paste this over. So basically what this is saying is you're budgeting for $328 or $3,298. So far you have spent $2,970, and now it's showing you have $328 remaining for the month. So obviously if the month is ended, you saved $328, which is going to be indicated down below right here. So I'm going to put equals my total income, then equals this, my total expenses. And I like to time this one by -1 so I can show it as a negative. So do equals total expenses times -1. And then I just do a sum formula right here. And so far I have spent, or I've saved $1,670, which is good in this scenario. So for your budget, you're just going to do the same thing, equals up to the total, and then equals your budget times -1, and then do the same thing with sum, and then bam. So that's how much you're saying that you're gonna save each month, the estimation of how much you saved. So now we're just gonna do like a little quick formatting, so this will look a little bit better. So what I do is I like to highlight this column right here. I'm gonna highlight it blue. Same thing with the expenses. I'll highlight this blue as well. And then you put actual budget and then remaining. All right, so that's looking a little bit better. I want to bold this, so I'm gonna put that bold. I also want to bold this as well. So your gain and loss is basically gonna be this right here. So it's gonna be equals your income minus your expenses. And so I'm basically telling myself right here I've saved $1,670. So now it's time to format the numbers so these can look better as well. So go right there, accounting format. Again, I like to use the accounting format because I just think it looks better. All right, so it's looking good so far. Another thing I do is I go right here in these rows, and then I do another conditional formatting. I do highlight cells for anything less than 0, because if it's less than 0, then I'm basically saying I went over my budget for that month. So going back to our example in the data tabs, I'm gonna add something else for October so y'all can see how this updates in real time. So for gas, let's just say I went on a crazy road trip at the end of the month, and I spent $400 or something in total gas. So I'm gonna put gas right here, gas right there, $400. And so as you can see, it updated, and now that number is red. Again, whenever you're doing this, just make sure, like I'm just giving you guys examples so you can see how this changes in October, because that's the month we're working in currently. But whenever you guys are doing this, make sure this number ties to your ending bank balance. But so far it's looking good. Now I'm adding an additional section over here, which is basically our monthly activity for the whole year. And it's basically the same formula as this over here, except it's calculating everything so you can see it all at once. So for instance, January, you're going to do sum ifs. Our sum range is going to be our expenses, or our income, absolute value of that. Our criteria range 1 is our month, absolute value of that. Our criteria is going to be this, do that until there's a money sign in front of the 2. And then our criteria range number 2 is going to be our paycheck. So we're going to go to paycheck. It's in column C. So absolute value of that. And then our criteria number 2 is this. And you're going to do the in front of the F. So there's that. And then you can just copy and paste this over all the way to the total. Don't do the total. Total is going to be sum, and then you can just add all this together. Basically, it's telling you how much you made for your paycheck in the year, and then you can just copy paste that down right there and right there as well. So for this, if this works correctly, you should just be able to copy and paste this over. Let me double check. So F2, this January, it looks good to me. Go ahead and copy and paste over. So October should be 40. December, I think, should be 100. So that worked. And then your total income is going to be equal sum for the month. So you're going to go up. It's the right. And now you can drag this over and copy and paste it over. So basically what this is saying is in October, I made a total of $4,640, November $4,600, and December $4,700, and then total for the year $13,940. And now we're going to do the same formula for our expenses. So it's going to be sum ifs again. Our sum range is going to be our expenses, which is that one. And then our criteria range number 1 is going to be our categories, absolute value. And then criteria 1 is going to be our rent. And then our rent is going to have the absolute value in front of the F. And our criteria range number 2 is going to be right here. And then our criteria number 2 is going to be the actual month. And then do the absolute value in front of the 2. So October, November, and December should have a rent of $1,500 each, I believe. There's that. And then you want to do your sum right here. And then basically you're just summing up to see how much of rent you spent in the whole year. And then you can copy and paste this down all the way to do it to rent insurance. And then I'm going to grab this and then just copy and paste this down. All right. And then our total, so it's going to be sum. Oops. And let's drag this over. And I'm gain and loss, going to be sum minus or the income minus the expenses totals. Drag this over. All right, so to double check our work, you just do 13,940 minus the 9,235. So do that real quick. So what did I say? I said 13,940 minus the 9,2, and as you can see, 4705. 4705 is how much total for the year we saved. To double check per month, October, you see we have 1270, which is adding up to our 1270 for what we gained. And now we can change this, and everything should change to November's numbers. So there's that. 2050, 2050, and let's just check December, just because. So 1385, 1385. And so now we're just going to format this for the number signs again, and there's how much you basically saved right here for the whole year. To make this like look a little bit cleaner, in my opinion, since there's a bunch of numbers next to each other, you can go to this drop down arrow and then go to more accounting formats, and then get rid of this money sign, and then just have the money signs at the end. I just think that looks better in my opinion, but you know, to each their own. If you like that, then you can go ahead and just leave the money signs in all of them. But basically, this is how you can see how much you spend. Like right here, you can see how much you spend in rent per year. You can see how much your car payments are per year, your gas, how much you spend. And from a budget standpoint, you want to evaluate your spending, and if you're noticing you're spending too much in like one category, like for instance, in 3 months I spent $2,300, and then you can see it's coming from mainly from December. You can evaluate your spending habits and go off of that. But another thing I do is I go back to my data column or data tab, and then I highlight all this, and then basically what I'm going to do is, off this current information, I'm going to make a pivot table. So you want to do, I just do a shortcut for it, so it's Alt-NVT, and put on a new worksheet, and then I'll just name this to I guess data broken down or something like that. And then now I have a pivot table, so I can see exactly why my expenses are so high in like months. So for filters, I'll put that as a month, so I can change it per month. For my rows, I'm going to do categories, and then I'm also do descriptions. And then for my values, I'm going to do sum of income. If you want to see your income, you don't have to include that. Matter of fact, I'm not going to include that. And then values of expenses, so you can see like what you're spending your money on per month. Actually, I'm actually going to put that there so these blanks can be gone. But right here, you're going to go to all, and then select multiple items, and then choose whatever month you want to look at. For this example, we're going to do, I guess, December. And then now you can kind of see like the columns that are or your categories that you're spending money on. So I spent $1,300 on Christmas shopping, $20 on movies, and then $100 at Six Flags. So that's basically a good tracking figure of how much money you're spending per month and what you're spending it on. You can go ahead and move this over there if you want to. But yeah, so I use this pretty much every single day. So if I was using this real time, I'll make this, and then each day, maybe not each day, probably like every other day, I'll come in here and I'll update this. Like say I spent something on July 16th, whatever, birthday, going out, whatever, and then I'll put the personal misc, and then say I spent $1,000. I don't know, I'm just giving you guys examples. So right here you can see my July updated, which is great. And then right here you can go down to your drop down and change it to July, and now you can see that's the only thing I have entered in. And yeah, Let me guys know if this video was helpful in any type of way. Again, I think this is a very good thing to at least try to do, so you can have a better idea of your spending habits, and ultimately this should help you guys save some money going forward. So if this helps you in any type of way, just leave a like and let me know. Y'all have a nice day.